everybody, and welcome to, got a new name for the show. It's called What's Cooking Brooke.
Yay!
You like it? Yeah. It really conceptualizes the idea that there's always transformation happening. And the energies within us and energies that come from around us in the form of relationships and experiences are always growing us. And I think, one of the issues with our culture is we're always trying to control so much, thinking things should be a certain way, both how we think and feel. We should not feel sad. We should not feel depressed. We should be able to be, performing perfectly and having all this out here, making, and all that. And it gets in the way of allowing this deeper unfolding and experience of life to happen. On another note, I made notes. Oh, it was just for me. I think for me, I'm having this kind of push-pull of both wanting to go deeper into nature and get quieter and away from the world. At the same time, I'm feeling this pull to want to be out and sharing and talking. Supposedly, astrologically, that's exactly what's happening for me, so it's fine, but it does feel a little bit tug of war for me. So today we're making a chicken recipe with tarragon butter, white wine, and mushrooms. And the mushrooms are optional. We're gonna do mushrooms today. You don't have to do mushrooms. The first person to teach me this was my aunt. My aunt's an amazing cook. She taught me a lot. And one of the things she taught me was she was the first person who introduced tarragon to me and white wine and butter. She taught me a way to make this chicken a little bit more complicated, but we're gonna do it in a more simple, easy, quick way. So what I have here, some thinly sliced organic chicken breasts. The first thing that's very important with cooking chicken is you wanna leave it out, you wanna let it come to room temperature because then it's gonna cook evenly. We are cooking with French butter today. French butter is one of the best things I've found that takes something that's okay to something that's great. So we're gonna start with cutting the and shallots. For anybody who's just starting cooking, you can use regular onions. Shallots, very French thing to cook with, and also it just has a little bit more of a garlicky flavor. Okay, so those are our shallots for today. Now, in order to clean mushrooms, you don't actually want to rinse them with water because you want minimum water. So you just damp a little cloth and then just clean them like that. And then I'm just gonna slice the mushrooms. Tarragon's very strong. I'm not gonna chop this up until right before I'm gonna cook with it because I want it to keep all its flavor, and sometimes when you cut it or bruise it, it loses its essence a little bit. Now we're gonna cook. You turn the stove up to medium high. I'm gonna add both a little bit of butter and also I'm gonna add olive oil. I'm gonna wait for this to get hot and then I'm gonna brown the chicken on both sides. So we're gonna let that come up to a medium high. These are going in, we're just gonna make two because it's just you and me. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cook these for about 1.5 minutes on each side until they get brown. I just got burned. Yeah, so we're gonna cook these for 1.5 minutes on each side until they get brown, a little brown. Cheers, everybody. Okay, so that's brown enough. So these are done, right? Because look, oh, that's nicely brown. Beautiful, beautiful. So these are just gonna rest on this plate while we make the pan sauce. I'm gonna actually pour out a little bit of this excess fat right now. This nice brown here, it's gonna give our pan sauce really nice flavor, so we definitely wanna keep that. I'm gonna add the mushrooms and I'm gonna add the shallots. And mushrooms actually have a high water content, so we want the mushrooms to release their liquid and we want that liquid to evaporate. I'm actually gonna add also a little bit of butter. Oh, you know what? I was gonna use white wine, but you know what else is also really wonderful? Wonderful with mushrooms and shallots and tarragon. Cognac. We could use cognac if we prefer. We're gonna do wine. No, I got a clear doing wine today. See how the mushrooms are starting to release their liquid. We're gonna add the wine, and I'm bringing it up to a medium high, because what we're gonna want after we pour the wine is we're gonna want it to reduce. So I'm adding the wine. And just go with your feeling, you know, how much, how little. Just experiment, play. You can't mess up wine, shallots, and mushrooms. You just can't. The more this reduces, the thicker our sauce is gonna be. So I think we're gonna want this to reduce probably by half. And see, all the brown bits that were on the bottom are now in our sauce. We'll chop up some of the tarragon. And can I also share one of the other things that I love about cooking? I love how it brings you into the moment through your senses. I meditated for probably 20 years. I love to sit, but I would also just lie in bed and meditate and go deep in there and breathe and feel. And it was wonderful, and I still do that. But cooking is equally a meditation. It's funny that people only think of meditation as because cooking is absolutely a meditation. It's a meditation through the senses. Okay, yeah, our sauce is really reduced. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna add some tarragon and I'm gonna add some butter. And if we wanted, we could add a little flour and that would thicken it up even more. So I'm gonna turn this into a medium at the end, just like a medium high to really reduce. Reduce, reduce, reduce. See how it's thickened up? Now it's really nice. And I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. Oh, you're gonna like that. Oh boy. The very last thing that you can do in the end is you can put the chicken back in the plate with the sauce and just heat it up for another minute with the sauce. And that is done. Yeah, baby, yeah. Voila!